It is a big statement by Defence Minister Rajnath Singh on India's nuclear policy. The Defence Minister who said that the first use policy depends on the future. Big statement coming in from Defence Minister Rajnath Singh, who says that the first use policy will depend on the circumstances and depend on the future. Abhishek Kapoor, our executive editor, will be joining us shortly. And what really is behind that statement? But yes, big statement coming in by the Defence Minister, and certainly something that the enemies must hear. For the moment, Niranjan Narayanaswamy joining us on the phone line. Niranjan, that is heavy-weighted, big statement coming in from Defence Minister Rajnath Singh on India's nuclear policy. He goes on to say that the first use policy depends on the future.
Well, that's correct, because if you look at historically, India's position has always been no first-use policy on nuclear armaments. Now, that's been our stated position, and I think Abhishek is joining us. Abhishek, the fact that Rajnath Singh says what happens in the future depends on circumstances. He says, as of today, we are committed to the no first-use policy, but what happens in the future will depend on circumstances. Do you sense a shift, or do you... Yeah, and we'll go across to Abhishek. I think he will be joining us on the phone line. But this is a very significant statement coming in from Defence Minister Rajnath Singh. Rajnath Singh has warned Pakistan that as of today, India's policy is no first use as far as nuclear policy is concerned, but has said, he's added that caveat, Abhishek, that the future policy on nuclear, armaments will depend on circumstances. Do you sense a shift, or is this a warning at best, Abhishek?
Well, Niranjan, this is, anything related to nuclear weapons is a serious business, and if the defense minister has made a statement, he would have surely made it by way of reflecting India's evolving position on nuclear weapons use. And you rightly mentioned that till now we have had the policy of no first use, but by telling the world that it is not written in concrete and that India would evolve its position based on its threat perception, it's a clear indication that that this no first use should not be treated as gospel so far as India's security doctrine is concerned. So it's a very significant announcement, Niranjan. Remember, in the post-Pulwama and post-Balakot scenario, there was a situation evolving where I have it from sources, for example, at the very top of India's security establishment, that they were closely watching movements across the border. Pakistan had called its National Security Council meet, and remember, the National Security Council of Pakistan is the authorizing body for use of nuclear weapons. In fact, post the scrapping of Article 370, also the NSC of Pakistan has met twice. So it's clear that while Pakistan would do its saber rattling, and we know that Pakistan's policy is of not of no first use, but that they would want to use their weapons. In fact, over the last 2 decades or so, Pakistan has evolved what is called tactical nuclear weapons because they thought that India has overwhelming advantage when it comes to conventional warfare. So when we are facing an enemy which clearly has no problems in using nuclear weapons as the first instance, India's evolving position is a clear...
Abhishek and Niranjan, please stay on with us. We will decode that further, but for the moment, very important to listen into what Defence Minister Rajnath Singh said. I beg your pardon, Rajnath Singh has said on this. Let's listen in.
आदरणीय अटल बिहारी वाजपेयी जी के नेतृत्व में भारत एक पारमाणविक दृष्टि से शक्तिशाली देश के रूप में उभरा था और सारे प्रतिरोधों
Abhishek, if I can come back to you, we will play out that statement by the Defence Minister once again in a short while. But even as you continue to decode that for us and the message that is being put out to Pakistan without mincing any words.
Well, Suresha, this is indeed a very significant statement coming from the Defence Minister of India. And as we were just discussing, that while Pakistan has a first-use option and in its security doctrine, and its National Security Council, the top agency which decides on pressing the nuclear button, has met twice, in fact, to post the scrapping of Article 370 and 35A, and had in fact met in the backdrop of Pulwama and Balakot, Pulwama terror attack and Balakot strikes as well. Rajnath Singh is sending a clear message that India's position is also evolving, and that our intention of no first use, which was aimed at using nuclear weapons only as deterrent, should not be treated as gospel when it comes to India's evolving security doctrine.
Let's listen into what Defence Minister Rajnath Singh has said on India's nuclear policy.
ये बात सच है कि जहाँ तक हमारी न्यूक्लियर पॉलिसी का सवाल है, उसमें नो फर्स्ट यूज कि आज तक हमारी पॉलिसी यही है। अब भविष्य में क्या होगा, ये सब परिस्थितियों पर निर्भर करता है। ये बात सच है कि जहाँ तक हमारी न्यूक्लियर पॉलिसी का सवाल है, उसमें नो फर्स्ट यूज कि आज तक हमारी पॉलिसी यही है। अब भविष्य में क्या होगा, ये सब परिस्थितियों पर निर्भर करता है। ये बात सच है कि जहाँ तक हमारी न्यूक्लियर पॉलिसी का सवाल है, उसमें नो फर्स्ट यूज कि आज तक हमारी पॉलिसी यही है। अब भविष्य में क्या होगा, ये सब परिस्थितियों पर निर्भर करता है।
And Major Gauravarya, I want to come back to you, especially of what you make of that statement, because India has said time and again two things being made very clear. A, terror and talks will not go hand in hand. B, we are completely ready, but don't you dare provoke us. A statement being made by the Defence Minister on similar lines? All right, not too sure if Major Gauravarya is still connected with us, but yes, this is the big statement by Defence Minister Rajnath Singh on India's nuclear policy, where he's gone on to say that the first use policy depends on the future. He has said that the policy will depend on